We all need a little bit of comfort in our lives, and nothing much more comfortable or comforting than our short rib beef stroganoff. So I'd like to take a few minutes today to prepare this dish for you and take a little bit of time to talk about it as well. So I'd like to just run through some of the ingredients really fast. Obviously we have our nice braised beef short rib here. So earlier today we braised the short rib with some carrots, onions, celery, beef stock, some nice red wine. Cook that down till it's nice and tender, fall off the bone, then we pull that apart and shred it. Here we have some egg noodles. We also, in this particular recipe, we like to use some fresh mushrooms. So in this case we're using cremini mushrooms, which are also known as baby bellows, or basically just small portobello mushrooms. In this dish right here we have a little bit of minced shallots and garlic, a little bit of fresh thyme, we have a little bit of dry English mustard here, some sherry wine, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and then we'll be finishing it with some fresh cream. Some people like to use sour cream, which is totally fine as well, but today we're using fresh cream, and a little bit of parsley and grated Parmesan to garnish. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off by sauteing the onions and shallots on a little bit of vegetable oil, as well as the cremini mushrooms. So you can use different types of mushrooms. We like cremini for this. We just like the size, the color, the texture. You can also use, basically you can use any of your favorite mushrooms, domestic mushrooms. You can use, you know, full-size portobello mushrooms. Beach mushrooms would be nice. Shiitakes would be really nice as well. So we're just going to get those cooking down. I have a little bit of salt here. You always want to salt your mushrooms early in the cooking process. It helps to bring out some of the moisture, some of the water, and then we'll get that evaporated in the pan to kind of consolidate and refine the flavor of the mushroom. So that's cooking up nicely there. We're going to add about a tablespoon of garlic and shallots. You can use white onion, you could use red onion. We like shallots because it has a nice sweet and savory flavor. So just sauteing this down now. A little bit of color is fine. A lot of color is okay too, if that's how you like it. You know, the more natural sugars that caramelize and the vegetables that you make, you're just going to draw more moisture and consolidate that flavor and concentrate it even more. So now you can really smell the earthiness of the mushrooms. The garlic and shallots are very fragrant. Right now I'm going to put in a little bit of this fresh chopped thyme. And we'll start to bloom that. Blooming means to basically saute it in the oil. That's going to get the natural oils within the herb to come out. It's going to toast the leaves, and it's really going to, again, concentrate the flavor in the dish. So as soon as your garlic and shallots are translucent, you got a little bit of color on your mushrooms. You can see those are getting nice and tender as well. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of our sherry cooking wine. Now the sherry is going to add a little bit of flavor and a little bit of sweetness. At the end of the dish, you're not going to be able to tell there's a lot of sherry in there. It just kind of helps build the dynamic or the complexity of all the flavors in the dish. So we're just kind of flambeing that. You can see already the alcohol is already cooked off. This also helps to further cook all the ingredients in the pan there. So we're going to cook that down to au sec, or almost dry, as they say in traditional Western cooking. At this point, we're going to add our braised beef short rib. And the short ribs are already fully cooked, right? So we're just kind of going to be heating it up in the pan. So we have pretty much everything in there except for the noodles, the sauce, which we'll make right now. Like I said, the short ribs are already cooked, so we're just warming that through. Now we're going to add some demi-glace or brown gravy, however you want to call it. We make this in-house with veal bones, tomato paste, mirepoix, which is carrot, celery, onions, and we cook that down for about 12 hours. Then we cook it again, we reduce it down with more wine, and that's where it gets that nice thick consistency from. At this point, we're going to add a little bit of dry English mustard, about a half teaspoon, a few dashes of Worcestershire, I don't know how to say it. Been doing this for 20 years, I still don't know how to say it. That's going to add a nice depth of flavor as well. At this point, we are going to add the fresh cream, which again, feel free to use creme fraiche, sour cream, whatever you like. Half and half. If it's dairy free, you can make this dairy free. You know, you could use oat milk or cashew cream would be really nice to keep it dairy free. Of course, when you buy egg noodles in the store, you know, it's basically going to be flour, water, and egg. There typically isn't any dairy in any dried pasta. Just check the label, but that's kind of the industry standard. Most people think there's dairy in dry pasta, but there really isn't. Okay, cool. So mushrooms, garlic, shallots. We have the braised beef short rib in there, a little bit of dried mustard, the fresh thyme. We got the demi-glace, the cream. We're gonna add the noodles. We're almost there. So these noodles we just pre-cook a little bit, so they're a little slightly al dente. We're just bringing the noodles up to temperature because they're mostly cooked. Now, some people like a lot of sauce and stroganoff, some people just like enough to coat the actual noodles. So that's up to you. I like mine kind of saucy. I'm a saucy kind of person. So I have a little bit of cream left. I have a little bit more of the demi-glace or the brown sauce I want to add in there. Now we need to taste it, right? Need to make sure that the seasoning's proper on there. Yep, so everything looks good there. Seasoned really nicely. I don't have it with me right now, but some fresh cracked black pepper would be really, really nice in there as well. This dish is pretty much complete. This is how we do it here at Stone & Barrel. So here we have the braised short rib beef stroganoff, which has the cremini mushrooms and this nice decadent rich stroganoff sauce. And we're gonna finish it with a little bit of fresh grated Parmesan. And some fresh chopped Italian parsley. So that's pretty much it. You can choose different garnishes. Again, if it's dairy free, if it's meant to be dairy free, just throw some more chopped herbs on there. You could add some other vegetables, maybe like fresh corn or some fresh spring peas or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for the opportunity. If you have any questions, feel free to ask for Chef Jeff at Iron Country Club. Thank you so much. Happy cooking.